Welcome to Sportpen.
Great to be here.
Get ready to jump into the fast lane today because we are exploring the electrifying saga of the 1980s Los Angeles Lakers.
Showtime!
Exactly. And we're not just here for the highlight reel, you know. We're digging deep into the pivotal moments, the sheer grit, and those game-changing performances that really forged their legendary status.
Yeah, it's about what makes a team truly great, how they can sort of rewrite the whole story of a sport.
Think of this as your backstage pass. We want to understand what defines sports greatness and how a team like those Lakers, well, they didn't just play the game, they kind of rewrote its very story.
It's fascinating, too, when you look at the context. The late 1970s, well, it wasn't exactly a golden era for the NBA, was it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
There were empty seats, lukewarm TV interest.
Right, and real financial worries for a lot of teams. Some people genuinely thought the league might be, on the brink.
It was against that backdrop, that kind of uncertain background, that Jerry Buss stepped in. And he envisioned something. Well, something totally different for the Lakers.
He wasn't just buying a basketball team.
No, he was buying into the entertainment business, pure and simple. Okay, so let's unpack this. His vision was just pure Hollywood, a spectacle.
Yeah, it wasn't just about winning, although obviously that was key.
Of course. But it was about crafting an entire experience. You know, the cheerleaders, the live band, the buzz around the Forum.
The Forum Club, where celebrities and fans could mingle.
Right. It was all designed to make Lakers games the event to see. And he shook things up with ticketing, too, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Tiered pricing, those courtside seats. Suddenly it felt more glamorous, but also maybe a bit more accessible in some ways.
What's really insightful there is how he basically took a Hollywood business model and just applied it to sports. He got that creating an experience went beyond just what happened on the court.
Exactly. It built this deeper emotional connection with the fans, and that fundamentally shifted how sports franchises were seen, They became entertainment empires, not just teams.
He understood. You're not just selling the game. You're selling like an aspiration, a feeling, glamour, excitement. It built this powerful brand.
And that wasn't just good for the Lakers. It helped lift the perception of the whole league, really.
Okay, so then comes the 1979 draft, a real turning point. Now, the Lakers, they had a very capable point guard already in Norm Nixon.
Yeah, solid player.
But in one of his final decisions as owner, Cook gives the okay to draft this phenom, Magic Johnson. Now, looking back, Magic seems like, well, a total no-brainer. But drafting another point guard, when you already had Nixon.
It was bold. Definitely bold.
It really speaks to them recognizing just how extraordinary Magic was, right? Betting his versatility would outweigh any sort of positional clash. But wasn't that a huge risk? I mean, what were people saying at the time?
Oh, absolutely. There were questions, why another point guard? But the Lakers saw Magic's size, his court vision, those passing skills. It was unique.
So the justification was just pure talent. Transcendence.
Pretty much. They likely believed his all-around game and leadership were just too massive to pass up. They figured they'd make it work. It was a bet on exceptional talent over, immediate positional need.
And wow, did it pay off. Almost instantly, right? That 79-80 season.
Yeah, the combination of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, already dominant.
The premier center.
And Magic, this electrifying rookie. It was like lightning in a bottle.
But then, disaster strikes. Head coach Jack McKinney has that awful bicycle accident.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Assistant coach Paul Westhead steps in. And McKinney, he eventually came back in a scouting role, but never coached the Lakers again.
It's fascinating, though, how a team adapts. Westhead stepped in, kept things going, even built on McKinney's idea of a fast-breaking offense.
Yeah, it shows the underlying structure was strong, right? It's shared vision.
Absolutely. It wasn't a total reset. It was continuing, just with a different person leading day to day.
So the season ends with the finals against the 76ers. And Game 6, I mean, it's still legendary. Kareem's out. Bad ankle. Rookie Magic Johnson steps in at center.
A 6'9" point guard playing center. In the finals.
You just can't make this stuff up. And he puts up, 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists.
Just an iconic performance, clinches the championship.
And he gets finals MVP, the only rookie ever to do it, even though Magic himself apparently felt Kareem deserved it.
Which tells you something about both of them.
That one game just says so much about that team's spirit and Magic's brilliance. It wasn't just filling a spot. It was leadership, adaptability, trust.
It really was a performance for the ages. Showed his talent, but also incredible poise under that kind of pressure, cemented him as a superstar right then and there.
But, it wasn't all smooth sailing after that. The next season, 80-81.
Uh-huh. Things got a bit tricky.
Magic got his big contract, which, okay, he deserved it, but there was some internal friction.
Yeah, and they ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs. To the Rockets, I think.
That's right. And Pat Riley, who was an assistant then, he later called it the disease of me.
That phrase really stuck.
It highlights the challenges, right? Managing egos, keeping everyone pulling in the same direction. You mentioned Norm Nixon earlier.
Right, the established guy. It must have been tough having to adjust his role for this, superstar rookie.
It really underscores the human side of team sports. You can have all the talent in the world, but chemistry, defined roles, they're essential.
That friction is a reminder that individual stuff needs to align with the team goal. So, the disease of me, what did that actually look like day to day? Do we know?
Well, the sources don't give us, specific locker room arguments.
Sure.
But the idea is that maybe individual goals or maybe just unclear roles started to overshadow the team's main objective. Maybe guys focusing on stats, maybe communication breaking down, that kind of thing.
And Riley's later success suggests he figured out how to fix it, emphasizing unity, defining those roles clearly, fostering that shared responsibility.
Which brings us to the 81-82 season. More changes. There were still tensions, apparently, between Magic and Coach Westhead early on.
Right, and then the change happened.
Pat Riley takes over as head coach. And the result?
Another championship. And another finals MVP for Magic.
Plus, they drafted James Worthy in 82. Just adding another future Hall of Famer to the mix.
Talk about reloading.
This period really shows the impact of coaching, doesn't it? Riley seemed to bring a new focus, and Worthy was another perfect piece.
Exactly. Riley brought that intensity, that clear vision, his emphasis on discipline, on defense. It complemented the offense perfectly, gave them the structure they needed, and Worthy just solidified their dominance.
Now, okay. We absolutely have to talk about the Celtics.
Oh, the rivalry. You can't talk 80s NBA without it.
It wasn't just a rivalry. It defined the whole era. Boston won in 84, that brutal 7-game series.
Heartbreaking for Laker fans.
But then, 1985, the Lakers finally break through, beat the Celtics in 6 in Boston.
That was monumental, huge.
And Jerry Buss's famous quote, "Remove the most odious sentence in the English language. It can never again be said that the Lakers have never beaten the Celtics."
That tells you everything about how much it meant. Beating them there.
This rivalry, it was more than just games, wasn't it? It was cultural. East Coast versus West Coast. Magic versus Bird.
Contrasting styles, personalities. It's just captured everyone's imagination. It elevated the whole league. And the Lakers finally conquering them was just pivotal.
Yeah, that narrative aspect was huge. It made it relatable even if you weren't a diehard basketball fan. The power of storytelling in sports.
It really did transcend the sport, had all the drama, the high stakes. It absolutely revitalized fan interest.
And the Showtime Lakers, as everyone knew them by then, they just kept rolling. Back-to-back championships, 87 and 88 under Riley.
His coaching style, it was sleek. But he also hammered home that defense. No rebounds, no rings.
That mantra, it perfectly complemented their firepower. And that core group, just unbelievable. Magic, Kareem.
Big game. James Worthy, always clutch. Michael Cooper, the defensive stopper. Byron Scott, the shooter.
It's amazing how Riley blended all that talent. Because Showtime was offense, but that defensive toughness Riley brought was crucial.
Definitely. Even the best offensive teams need that foundation. He got those superstars to buy into a team-first mentality. That's great coaching.
And Kareem, still dominant in his late 30s, early 40s. That skyhook.
The cruise missile of the NBA, just unstoppable. His longevity was incredible.
We can't forget Jerry Buss off the court either. His marketing. Genius, really. Drawing from Hollywood glamour.
Totally revolutionized the fan experience and boosted the league's visibility massively.
Putting games on basic cable, prime ticket, instead of pay-per-view.
That was huge. A game changer for accessibility.
He just got it. He understood that the entertainment value, the captivating on-court playstyle, and dynamic superstars, that was the key to reaching a wider audience.
He was building a brand, an image, not just filling seats, making it exciting, tapping into that LA vibe. It was instrumental in the NBA's comeback in the 80s.
Like we said before, that Hollywood model for sports, creating an experience.
Right. He saw that connection between winning on the court and having that off-court appeal. It boosted the Lakers, but also the whole league.
You're exactly right. That Lakers-Celtics rivalry, plus stars like Jordan emerging, it really did revitalize the NBA. Jerry West himself said the league was in trouble before that.
And that Magic-Bird rivalry was just pure gold for capturing imaginations.
It felt so genuine, didn't it? The competition, the respect, it became the story, even for casual fans.
Yeah, it provided that narrative people could latch onto, pick a side. It fueled the intensity.
And speaking of longevity, we have to circle back to Kareem. Starting his 14th season in '83, he'd already played longer than he thought he would.
Amazing. And he credited yoga, partly, for staying healthy into his 40s.
Yeah, that's what the sources suggest. Allowed him to keep playing at such a high level. And he was thinking beyond basketball, too, considering law school.
Poor guy.
And he always emphasized teamwork. That, quote, the things that you achieve as a team. So important.
He also mentioned Jackie Robinson as a role model, not just for sports, but as a scholar, and his father's work ethic.
His whole career is just this incredible example of sustained excellence, adapting, focusing on well-being, and understanding that team dynamic.
Absolutely. His dedication, his intellect, just an exceptional figure on and off the court. He understood growth.
So the Showtime era, let's say roughly 79 to 91, it just left this huge mark on basketball, didn't it?
Indelible, the exciting style, the championships, the personalities. It captivated everyone and really kicked off a new golden age for the NBA.
Yeah. They weren't just a successful team. They were a true cultural phenomenon. Embodied that era of excitement, glamour, and you can still see their influence today.
They absolutely redefined success in the NBA, both how you played and how you marketed the game. Their impact on the league's global appeal is undeniable.
And think about this. Showtime didn't just win titles. They made basketball this must-see spectacle. They really laid the groundwork for the global game the NBA is today in 2025.
Yeah, with so many international players, fans all over the world.
The seeds of that global appeal, you could argue, were sown right there with the excitement and star power of those Lakers teams.
That's a great point. That entertainment-first approach, the big personalities, the rivalries, it broadened the NBA's reach dramatically, set the stage for everything that came after.
Well, this has been fantastic. Thanks for diving deep into the legacy of the 1980s Los Angeles Lakers with Sportpen.
My pleasure. What a team. What an era.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.